Well, hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Right, so we have had a very eventful week, I'd like to say. Ton of interesting things have happened. And it's about time we talk about all of it. Right, as always during KT time, it's much more of a podcast format than a regular stream, so this is not necessarily the best time to ask for rank up advice unless you want the advice of the chat and generic things like that. All that being said, let's say massive hello to the one, the only, the amazing Mandalorian, who's gonna be my co-host for the next hour or so.
Hey, what's up, KT?
Hey man, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
How's your
How's
home?
everyone else
Still
out there?
busted or nearly unbusted?
Almost unbusted. The last thing that needs to be done is a breaker has blown. They've got to replace the breaker with a 250 amp breaker. Once they do that, all the electrical will be done, just small touch-ups, and the construction will be done hopefully sometime in the next couple days.
Let's hope it's all, well, no more hiccups, let's just say it like that. Let's hope there are going to be no more hiccups.
Yeah.
Right. Speaking of things being busted, do you see what I did there? Such a good
I
segue.
see what you did, yeah.
Smooth.
I see what you did there. My house is busted, so now the game's busted. Thanks, everything's.
Yeah, so the game is probably in worse shape than your house at the moment.
Yeah, the game I think is worse than my house now, and I think they used to be at about an even state. The game is definitely overtaken. As my house got better, the game got worse. Yeah, that's pretty much the best way to say it.
So, well, let's start with the bigger thing. Kabam has, like, well, basically screwed up parry decks. ATC, as they so specifically describe. Parry decks and
I guess
ATC.
ETC means just everything's messed up.
Everything's
messed up.
Right, so the game basically is not working. Tons of people are getting KO'd left, right, and center. And obviously, there's still tons of people on the forums saying that, oh, you just didn't dex.
Get good, scrub.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this time Kabam has like properly admitted to messing up, and basically, I don't even know what or how happened, but
well, according to a lovely Kabam employee that was in our chat, it's more complicated than just fixing one thing. It's something that is broken on multiple levels that is causing these issues that happened with the most recent update. And the fact that they were trying to prevent this by making the larger downloads the last 2 months, remember that? It seems like it's the worst it's ever been, so maybe they don't do the full 1 point something gig download every time.
Well, they didn't do it this month, though. That might be the reason.
Oh, did they not do it this month? I didn't pay attention.
I'm not sure if this month. I don't think I did not hear that there was a big download, because last time there was a big download, I could hear it all the time everywhere. But
they said that was going to do that if this worked out fine. They were going to do that going forward. So I just assumed this month was the same. I know it took a while to install on my phone.
Yeah,
but it could have just
was
been
fairly glitchy at the installation. But anyways, so the baseline is here. Game is busted right now. Controls. Well, to be fair, it's kind of like varied effects to varied groups of people. I think this time somehow a lot of iPhone users got worse off it. But at the same time, I'm playing on iPhone, and I'm relatively fine. Like,
so here's what I was gonna say. You've got the newest version of the iPhone, though. You see, I think anyone that doesn't have the newest version is getting these problems.
It might be like,
because everybody I've talked to, that has issues. They're running an 11 or below.
Because I definitely have had some sus moments. As in, like...
Sure.
But then again, I pretty much always have such moments. It's just that now I have them more. So I do assume that the percentage of that is me, and I do assume the percentage of that is the game. But in general...
Right.
as far as I have played, there hasn't been like such a like drastic decrease. I have noticed that I'm getting tagged somewhat more often.
Yeah,
That is just about that.
I can tell you, I was doing the Cav event quest on Wednesday and Thursday, and I had to use revives on the early quest for the first time, and I can't even tell you when. And then I was doing it last night, and I didn't notice them as bad.
Here we have
So I don't know
Doc
if it's
saying
getting
12
better.
max pro parry issues up the
Oh
rear end
yeah.
on this phone. Okay, cool.
So it's just random.
just kind
But
of
that's what I'm
random.
wondering. I'm wondering if it's one of those things where like it just really can affect you sporadically, and maybe you're lucking out where you're not getting it as much as some other people. Maybe because based on the time being played, because we don't know what's causing the bug. You know, it could be the server overloading that's causing some issue with a new, what do you call it, the new update, or it could be something like I said, that from what we've heard, the inside information, the most we know is that it's more complicated than just fixing one little thing.
Yeah,
That's
so,
all we know.
well, hopefully they do resolve it quite quickly, because I'm quite curious to see what's going to happen with IQ, because in its current phase, in current state, I don't think it's quite realistic that we're going to get the next week of Alliance Quest, and obviously that's going to cause another set of commotion, because they did not want to stop Alliance Quest, so they stopped Alliance War Season, which is something that we're going to discuss in a bit.
Yeah.
But Alliance Quest basically cycle had to carry on. On the same similar subject, they have sent out compensation. That's one thing which, is a decent, neat compensation. I think the best part of that compensation was that we didn't have to wait like 6 weeks or something for it. It kind of like came out immediately saying, okay, the game's going to be fucked. Here is something, be ready and be careful.
I think that was more for, they knew that we just started Alliance Quest and this week was going to be screwed. I think they already knew.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that's your
But
Alliance
also, it's
Quest
a very good thing
compensation.
that they actually did it at all. Like,
Yeah,
there'll be a lot
I
worse
don't think
situation right now
anyone.
if they didn't.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can say I want compensation for Alliance Quest because they've already kind of provided it. Even though I agree that we're going to miss next week, I think I don't see any reason why that they would keep it going, especially because they do their updates on Tuesday. Typically, we don't have Alliance Quest going on Tuesday. We won't have Alliance War going on Tuesday.
Oh.
They could delay it, but they're going to have to give some major compensation for not having it. And yeah, I don't know. I think, and for everyone asking, no, we do not have any KTea employee on KT time. They're not allowed to talk to non-CCP members, and KT is not a CCP member, but that's fine.
That did not allow them to come out and play.
Yeah,
Saying dodgy people
no,
are suspect.
we'll let you guys know at the beginning of KT time if there's ever a
guest. So yeah,
a guest or anything.
it will
So there's
definitely be like
you're stuck
title
with
or
us
thumbnail
two
or something
today.
like that. Anyhow,
but yeah, so Ultron bug is back too, where he had low PI again.
well, Ultron back as low PI, but there's also his PI is being very much so overcompensated by his level 3 damage.
I was gonna say, but he got a bonus, and this time instead of just being low PI, now he gets crazy damage with his multiple level 3s that stack even and are busted in any
he
level
legitimately was dropping like 40 something K medium crits and 30 something K like light crits in Labyrinth for me. It was well, fun time. And you know what is a very serious remark there on that Ultron being busted? That I legitimately think that there would be zero issues leaving like him like that in the game.
Honestly, it's only affecting a couple of game modes, and even then, it's not the best option to bring him in. So
yeah, exactly.
Why
And
not?
it's kind of like you can really get any significant benefit from it at all after like 2 level 3s, and like dropping 2 level 3s is longer than the majority of the fights last to begin with.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why they couldn't just leave it alone. I think they've got bigger fish to fry right now than worrying about that, so that's why we haven't heard any update.
Yeah, so I don't know. It'd be
but again,
neat
they
though.
probably look at it the same way.
It'd be neat though if they just go like, it'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. So, just one of those things, where there's multiple things happening. So obviously, because of this major issue, War Season came to a screeching halt all of a
I did
sudden
want
on
to
Wednesday.
address the Irish comment from the
Oh.
chat right now. He's saying the stuff that they gave out do not even scratch the surface for some. But you see, those are always the outliers. And quite frequently, I'm not saying always, and I'm not saying that in case of your friend, but a lot of people bring that upon to themselves. Like, I had somebody absolutely ferociously comment on one of my Karina challenge guides, saying that this guide is bullshit. I ended up using double revives. Yeah, I chose to do Karina's challenge, like one of the hardest item consuming challenges, which is like Starlord individual run, which is like the worst one item wise. I chose to do it now when I knew it's bugged. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, you deserve everything you got because you are doing Karina's challenge and the game's busted. Situations like this do require people to think on their feet, do require to figure out what content you want and not want to do, and maybe adjust your champion choice. Maybe some people will rely more on Corvus timeouts, maybe some people will rely more on, I know, Iceman 5% damage cap or Luke Cage's Awaken ability, like stuff like that, like just expecting that you're gonna get hit more than normal. But at the same time,
honestly,
there are outliers and there are obviously people in the opposite direction who, like me, I haven't used a single item like more than I normally would. I'm not using any items like in AQ and stuff like that, and I'm getting everything done just fine. And think about how many people are like that.
AQ, honestly, I think it has a lot to do with the lanes I'm running this week too, because the simple fact that I can use Corvus for one of the lanes in Section 2, and the intercept with Corvus this week just makes him godlike. Like he can one-shot up APOC or even a noted up Omega Red Mini, which is crazy. The other thing too is like the paths I take and the champs I'm using, I'm constantly healing during the fight. So I haven't noticed anything by that, but I know the beginning of the week I really noticed it. Definitely on the first day, even though it was
yeah, sorry.
The first day is when everything went out, and I think that was where I noticed it, but it didn't cost me more items.
Yeah, I didn't mean it on like an individual personal level. What I meant, what the point was, I was trying to make it that yes, there will be people who, for one reason or another, end up using more than the compensation has given them. But there will also be just as many, if not more, people who end up using none of that compensation, and they just basically get free stuff for no inconvenience or very little inconvenience. Because they're either not affected, or they're not playing actively right now, or they're choosing to do weaker content, or whatever. Like, I have left my compensation unclaimed, and again, it's really not about me, just saying that they cannot send the compensation to match exactly what everything is going to need. It's just kind of like an estimation. And there's that. No, it's not going to be perfect for everybody, and
no, I don't think it will. I think that's what's so tricky about when these compensations come out, because there's some people that are going to be affected, there's some people that are not, but you have to come up with a compensation that kind of one size fits all.
That kind of like, you know, shoots in the middle, and that's the case. That obviously there are going to be people who need more items than the comp sent. Still better than they send something, and you know, I don't think that the compensation was like too poor or unreasonable, and for many people it was just random free stuff.
What I want to bring up though is because War Season was canceled abruptly, like literally the war match had started and they canceled the season. Like the war matching that was like we had enrolled, it was looking for a match, and they canceled it, saying it's literally done today. It's put a little bit of some questions out there. Number one, obviously it hurt a lot of alliances. Like, I'll just be perfectly frank. With my alliance, we were on the verge of about to be Platinum 2. We would have finished in Platinum 2 easily this season, putting us in... Hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
Putting us in a great place to get Platinum 1 next season easily, because the way our trajectory was going, we were on the right side of it. We were in Tier 2 wars. We were winning. We were getting the bosses down. We were doing everything we were supposed to, low deaths. But because they ended the season so quickly, some alliances got higher than they may have wanted, than they may have been. Some people, I understand that, but it still screwed a lot of alliances overall, I think.
Well, it screwed exactly the same amount of alliances than it helped. Literally, by definition, every alliance that would finish higher would have taken some other alliance's spot.
I can't say that's true.
That is
I
exactly
definitely
true.
think
For any alliance
I
that would
don't
make
think
in Masters, some alliance would fall out of Masters. In effect, it did not give a single alliance more than it would give after a full season. Like, when you add all the rewards total, it helped as many alliances as it screwed over. 50-50.
no. Here's what I'm going to say to that. I'm going to say you could be right.
I'm
I don't think there's any way to know
Math.
100%. The reason
I am by definition
why,
right because they didn't
well,
increase or
no,
decrease the amount
listen.
of rewards.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I have nothing. I'm not talking about the rewards itself. What I'm talking about is, obviously, quite a few alliances have roster changes, meaning different people that go into alliances, leave alliances, replace because of whatever reasons between seasons, because they're needing to fill a niche or something like that. And so some teams were stronger. They weren't given enough time to really get the movement they needed in their alliance. I
And
think
again,
that was a
for
detriment.
every team that did not have enough time to get the movement started, there is a team that had a good start and did not get pushed back down. It literally is one-on-one.
I don't think it is. I think
By
what
definition, like,
you're looking at it as just because we only had 2 weeks, it's almost like a full season, and I look
no,
at
I'm
it
not
as
looking at it like that at all. I'm saying these rewards don't grow on trees. There's a finite amount of rewards, and for every alliance like yours that could have potentially gotten higher rewards, there is an alliance that your alliance would have pushed down to lower rewards that would have been worse off than they are right now.
yeah, but I'm not.
So by
I'm not
definition
talking
of
about
how these rewards are
rewards.
structured, overall, for every
Yeah, but I'm not
alliance that
talking about
is worse
rewards.
off, there's an alliance that is better off. For every alliance that is better off, there would be an alliance that is worse off.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about rewards. I'm just
I'm not
saying.
either talking about rewards even. I'm just talking that what
But you,
the principle here is that for every single alliance that is worse off, there is a single alliance that is better off. It is literal 1-for-1. It's not a discussable subject.
no, it definitely is, because you've cut a season. You're telling me that cutting a season in half is the same as if the season would have ended in 4 weeks.
I'm saying
I understand the number of places in each slot would have been that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not talking about the rewards or
what you're
anything like
saying
that. I'm
is
just
from the
saying.
point that you think that your alliance would have ended up in better place. Fair enough. First of all, there is no way of knowing that for sure. Second of all, fair play. But for your alliance who gets better, for you to get in a better bracket, whichever one you want, trying to get it, there is an alliance that would have been pushed down and would have been worse off than when the season finished halfway.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is, I don't disagree with that. What I'm saying is, though,
that you're salty because
they
you didn't get
ended.
better rewards that you think you would have gotten otherwise. Is what I
No,
think you're
that's not
trying
what
to
I'm
say.
saying. No, again, not listening.
I
What I'm trying to say is that when they do these, because this is the effect. If I can get to the effect part, you'll understand. When they do these shorter seasons, we don't know when the next season's going to start. Are they going to start it 2 weeks earlier than they would have before, or are we going to have to wait now another month or
well,
maybe even 6 weeks or so? We don't know. That's
yeah.
what I'm trying to say.
Well,
And so what it does is
well,
it just
you
puts
did not even mention off seasons previously.
What about off season?
No, like you don't know when they're gonna start the next season. So what does that have to do with anything? We're talking about like this season, right? No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They ended the season early. Okay, so this is because someone even asked it in the chat. When is the next season going to start? So we don't know.
Well, in all likelihood,
Because
it's gonna
is it
be
going to
in
be
1 month, basically, whenever it ought to have started. Just imagine that they cut the season. Imagine a football game that they cancel the second half. So whatever score everybody's at right now, cancel the second half. Start in the same match as far as we're concerned, and as it normally should have started. They may or may not do that, but most likely the next season
That's
will
what I'm
start.
saying. We don't know though.
Well, yeah, we
That's
don't
what I'm saying.
know.
We don't know.
But this is also, it's not like a thing that they did on purpose, or this is not the thing that they planned to do.
It's just one of those things where I don't think this helped anyone. I think the bug hurt more people than anything, obviously.
Well, yeah.
I don't think that they figured out when they can have War Season come back now, which is putting a bigger. In other words, this season was already screwed anyway, because when the season started, they didn't. The war attacks. The whole reason of the name called counterattack was because we were supposed to have a war attack tactic, and we weren't able to.
Well, yeah,
And
there were
now,
issues throughout, and again, it's not a perfect solution. And obviously, it would have been more decisive or definitive season had it run its full length, but it didn't. But ultimately, again, there were no alliance. For a very simple idea that for every alliance that was worse off, there was an alliance that is better off. So objectively, for that, there is no general consensus for people to be outraged, or at the very least, for any single person that thinks they should be mad or unhappy, there's going to be a person that thinks, fair enough. And then there is the added benefit of you not having to boost for another 2 weeks and try very hard.
yeah, but I don't agree with what someone said in the chat, that just because they delayed Summer Showdown, for example, has been delayed 1 week. It starts July 19th. They can delay it again if they don't fix the problem.
Oh, yeah.
That's not them saying. That's not them saying they're gonna have the problem fixed by the 19th. That's saying they hope to have it fixed by then, but that's not saying they're gonna be able to fix it very soon. So do not think that at all,
Well,
people.
that is kind of
no
the
idea.
target that they have set for themselves. Let's
Yeah,
say
they've
it's
set a
penciled
target,
in,
but it can
it's
change.
not confirmed for that.
Yeah. Everybody needs to understand that this problem has not been identified or fixed as far as we know right now. Otherwise, they would have probably communicated something a little bit more.
Because there has been no significant update as of yet.
Yeah. So the way to look at it is, even though they delayed it to the 19th, nothing could say that next week, middle of the week, or even the end of the week, they may say, okay, it's delayed 2 more weeks or another week. So don't look at that as it's going to be fixed soon. I don't want people to get that idea either. They obviously want to fix it soon. It's in their best interest to fix it soon.
Yeah. Also,
but there's no way.
As like the main thing to kind of mention about Alliance for season cancellation, I do genuinely believe that about 90, maybe not 90%, but a vast majority of the people are genuinely happy that the season has finished faster, because right now Alliance wars are in a fairly tricky spot where they have improved the rewards, as in the only aspect about Alliance War, pretty much artificially forcing people to care about it that otherwise might not necessarily do so, because the rewards are like legitimately good like now for Alliance War. Even for like mid to lower tiers now, they have tripled or quadrupled the amount of tier 5 CC fragments that are there. There are like 6-star Nexus for grabs in Masters, and then there's a whole bunch of 6-star shards, and yeah, just in general decent haul, right? So that is how they have quote-unquote forced more people to care about Alliance War. But Alliance War itself, when it comes actually to playing it day to day, has not really been in worse place as last season, as far as I'm concerned, because all of the defensive tactics are absolutely shit. Offensive tactics are busted. We've now had this season, this map for far too long. The death counts were like as tiny as they have ever been, despite any and all issues happening, and the wars were as stressful, as tense, as punishing, and at the same time somehow yet as boring. So yeah, I think a large group of people are actually genuinely happy that the season ended earlier.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm glad we don't have to deal with the shitty map. Maybe they will change the map before next season. Maybe they will get the war attack tactics like actually going where we can try them out and do, like, I know for a fact you told me you ranked your loot cage to try and cheese some of the war attack tactics, and I wanted to try some of them out just when it would make sense on my path. But I can tell you, deaths were way down this season, even in my alliance. Even though, we got rid of some of the players that were dying a lot when they shouldn't have, it was still very, very poor defensive tactics. It was literally like they weren't even there majority of the time. There was a few niche defenders that if you ran into them the first time on a certain node, they'd probably give you a little bit of trouble. But after you overcame that, mostly it caught people that just didn't read the node and just went into it not thinking it was going to be a problem. And then they're like, "What's going on? Why am I doing no damage now?"
Yeah.
That happened to one person in our alliance, and I literally was like, "Did you read the note?" I mean, I'm like, seriously, come on, because that was a silly death that should never happened, and it's just was somebody being cocky that didn't think they needed to. So, but the rewards have increased. The map has not diversified enough. The defensive tactics are underwhelming and not even useful. The ward tactics are not even for the
Active.
attackers are not even working. They're not there. So I don't know. Hopefully we get
Yeah,
there.
exactly. Like war in general is in bad state. It's like people were more active in war right now because of the rewards, but everything else about war was just very dull. And I'm genuinely actually happy because our alliance obviously was taking war super serious because
Yeah.
like we're trying hard,
Well, yeah,
but
there's a reason.
it was just dull and it was not enjoyable and it has to change.
It was more of a chore. I think you kind of feel that way too. It was more of a chore to do it than fun, exciting, engaging, different. Yeah, it was more of the same,
It's
but
just
worse.
the dullness of it, and yeah, I don't know.
I know what you mean.
It is just not in a
needs
good
it
spot.
needs
So
a
I'm
shakeup.
personally, obviously, it also like worked out great for our alliance because at the time they cut it in half. Our alliance was in the top spot in rankings, and like
Yeah.
we did have like 2-win advantage. Like we were only alliance with a 6-0 record, and our closest competitors were like 4-2. So we did have like
Yeah.
already fairly sizable lead, but at the same time, like you never know how it would have finished, and
Yeah, that
as
just
far
goes
as I'm
just like
looking
what you
at
were saying with me.
this situation in particular, it's kind of like win-win-win because I get to save on my resources. I don't have to swap masteries X amount of times in a week, and I get to run with Liquid Courage Double Edge for an entire month, and I get the top rewards early. So
Yeah. Now, I mean, is there anything else you wanted to say about war rewards or war season being canceled? Because there's one other thing I wanted to bring up regarding the summer showdown, but that was it.
yeah, no, I think that's about it. And yeah, we can talk about the Summoner Showdown as well.
Just briefly, I mean, yeah, it's been delayed a week. It was originally supposed to start tomorrow. It's now been delayed until the 19th, which happens to coincide with KT's birthday, FYI. Um,
My B-Day Showdown.
Yeah, obviously it could change. The week 1 qualifier round could change. But if it doesn't, it will be a week from tomorrow at the normal time when content comes out for the day, 10 a.m. Pacific time right now, which is the same time content drops wherever that may be for you. Normally, I think it's 6 p.m. for KT, it's 12 p.m. for me. There you guys go. Someone asked, and a lot of people have asked KT whether or not he is going to compete. And before I let him answer that, 2 things I want to address. One, he's not going to stream it if he's not going to do it live if he does it, FYI. I think everybody needs to understand he will not do it live. Now, he may make a video on it and discussing it and such, but he's not even guaranteeing anything right now. Number 2, he is 100% eligible to do it. I don't know where this rumor has started coming out where he's ineligible to compete for some stupid reason, but he is 100% eligible to do it if he wishes. In fact, he has my full backing to do so. As a fan, as a friend, I support him.
The thing with it is though, it really, really depends because people don't understand how big of a commitment you have to take. Like when it came out the first time, I did kind of try the first week, but then I realized it's just what the best way to put it. That would be all you do for like now they changed the rules where there is a finite amount of entries, but even with finite amount of entries, there is like you might not necessarily be certain which champion is the best option, let's say. And now since it's 5-star champions, if you have that 5-star champion maxed, great. If you don't, will you rank it up? On a hunch, let's say, even not knowing that would be the best or fastest option. So question is, would you potentially rank up multiple 5-star champions to rank 5 just to have a theoretical shot at it? So that's one thing. Second thing is obviously every single time you're gonna give it a go, you need to make sure that you have like the best mastery setup. So whenever you do have made the decision to sit down and have a go, you will adjust masteries to be quote unquote perfect for the run. Like that there's no fluff. For instance, if you typically have deep wounds and despair on, and those masteries have no purpose in this fight, then you take those points away and add them in, I don't know, greater strength or something else, just to kind of like give you that tiny second advantage or something like that. So I might give it a go, but I really don't know. It'll pretty much entirely depend what those fights are, whether I have champions ranked up already for them, and on things like that. Mainly.
And this is where it brings me back to, I think a better way to run this is similar to how they do the beta servers. Allow people to request entries. Everybody gets decided who's going to get entries to it based on, whatever, like how they do a beta test. They say sign up now if you want to compete in week 1, and then you'll get eliminated
pretty
after
much,
each week or whatever.
or just bring it down to a 3-star level, because
Yeah, make it where you actually have,
because they already have set the limit of Thronebreakers for the highest difficulty, right? So if you're a Thronebreaker player, you probably have all the 3 stars, and you can rank all or some of them. Like, ranking up a 3-star is not a major commitment. It's a vastly different conversation than ranking up a 5-star in terms of like ISO gold. And the 4-stars are also like fairly big commitment, because they still require tier 4 class catalysts and tier 4 basics that are
and that's what our complaint. Yeah, that's been the biggest complaint, is 4-stars still take resources away from 6-star rank ups.
Yeah, exactly. And like, again, 4-stars I would pretty much also not want to rank, and I generally don't rank up any 4-stars, just because why would I give them to a 4-star champion? Then those catalysts are required for 6-stars.
Exactly. So, I mean,
so we'll see what happens there. We'll see what the fights are. I'll definitely upload some videos about the fights. I'll probably kind of like either do the lower difficulty or maybe pop in the higher one with like 1 or 2 attempts for like a video or something. I'll cover it on the channel. But in general, I also do not really feel that there is a very large community excitement for it, to be honest.
No, it never really is.
I just don't think that many people give a crap about it.
Honest truth is, I think it would, if it ends up being something that you're able to do without having to use a lot of resources and rearranging and stuff, I say go for it. I do think it can benefit you as a content creator if you even if you make it into the finals. But you gotta, and I know what you're saying, you're basically weighing it between the cost time benefit, the cost, the time it takes versus the benefit you get from it. Could you do
here's
something
another
else?
thing. I know for a fact I'm naturally not the top skilled player. I'm fairly knowledgeable. I'm decently skilled, like as in my reflex are okay. There are significantly better players than me out there when it comes to actual fighting ability. I do value my ability to analyze, understand the game and interactions, and come up with solutions. But once a solution is found, my ability to execute a fight perfectly, I do not think is anything like extraordinarily. Therefore, I do not think that this format of a tournament is necessarily something that I can particularly excel at. But should I think that there is a reasonable chance, I probably will give it a go. But again, I myself am not like that driven to determine, and effectively it is still a gamble.
Yeah,
effectively it's still a gamble.
It's the thing I would say is just play it by ear. That's a lot of people keep asking about it. He said it a few times on stream and such. This is kind of I think he's even said it on KT time a couple weeks back. It's just one of those things where we just got to wait and see, and he's got to figure out what's best. But it will not be live. He will do videos, but it will not be live. I think that's the easiest way to say it.
Pretty much. But maybe I'll give it a go. Maybe I will give it a good old college try. Something.
Yeah. But whatever, we support you in whatever your decision may be. So, moving on to the next topic. You know what else, KT, we can talk about today?
Well, do tell me.
We could talk about what we talk about every week now, Summer of Pain.
Okay, let's talk about Summer of Pain.
So we had Darkhawk this week.
We did indeed. Well, we still do.
Well, yeah, sorry, we still do. He actually, and the rumor is it may actually be extended a week, but they haven't made a decision yet.
Oh yeah, I have heard that it might be extended.
Yeah, but as of right now, treat it as if you only have 2.5 more days to get it done. Just treat it like that for now.
Yeah.
However, difficulty-wise, compared to the Mysterio we had the week before, what do you think about it?
It's easier. It's significantly easier. It's significantly more open as well. There are literally dozens and dozens of champions that can do that fight. Like just to get it down, there are honestly so many options for this fight. To a point
Yeah,
where
there
pretty much
really is.
any highly ranked champion more or less can do that fight. Like, so long as you don't have some sort of significant disadvantage against robots.
Yeah, pretty much. This week, I think the reason why they did that this week is because for some of the... Well, first off, last week was the last week without the objectives for Thronebreakers. And congratulations, by the way, KTea. 69.
Yeah.
Nice.
No. I actually didn't grind today at all. Well, not at all. I did grind during a stream, but that was pretty much about it.
Right.
I stopped after
That
the
was the
stream,
last-
and then I did like another 4 rounds. And I didn't even finish like
Not
my
bad.
6th round, so
What
this was
did
actually
you,
super casual grind. But this was so
What
hard.
points? What points did you do it at? How much
I think it was
did
like
you put up?
53 point something.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, like
you gonna
today,
do the
like
second round now?
today I only basically effectively did like half a round. Sorry, what?
Yeah. Are you gonna do the second round now?
No. No, honestly, this was one of the worst grinds. I do not know what happened, but this grind broke me. I just did not want to play. I did not want to grind. It was. I don't know exact reason for it, but
I would imagine that the lower points for the 6 stars made it more of a drog too. Maybe had something to do with it.
Legitimately, last week I put up 900 something win streak with 140 something million for Overseer, and I didn't feel as bad by the end of it as I did this time. And this grind is legitimately making me think whether I want or can grind for
basics,
for Hercules,
or anything
next week.
Oh, for Hercules. Oh, okay. I think it really
right
has
now
to do
I'm
with
about as fed up with the arena as I have ever been, and this arena, and it took me one basic grind.
Yeah, but I think I think you should take, well, whatever the arena is next, just don't go hard on it, obviously. Like this next one, like the repeat, the round 2. Don't go hard at all. I think that will make it a little bit better for you. And then secondly, I think it's just because the basic champion is such a more of a slog than it should be.
Yeah, like grinding this round, it literally has rethink. It made me rethink my life. I was thinking, what the fudge am I doing with my time? I'm grinding for a champion that I don't even particularly care about, and it feels so bad.
Right. No, I understand exactly what you're saying. And that's kind of the... I was wondering if you'd get to this point ever, because I know you've always wanted to get a new 6-star. That was like your process. Well, I'm going to do it anyway. It's something to do. I get content from it. But, there is a thing as arena burnout, and that's why people don't do it as much. You've done it more than I think I've ever seen anyone else do it.
Yeah, I know. This is like 10th 6-star I pick up since 6 stars have started to like be out, and
Yeah. That's why I'm like, holy crap, I can't believe you did it. But yeah, at the same time, yeah, I think, I don't know. I wouldn't be upset if you took...
I don't know, we'll see. Anyways, all I'm saying is this grind really got to me. More than even Overseer grind, which is like 900 plus arena rounds, 145 million points. This is like 50 something million points, but fudge me, it felt the other way around pretty much.
I gotcha. Well, back to Summer of Pain. Sorry, everybody. Small little detour there. But Summer of Pain definitely was easier this week than I think we've had the week prior.
I think they kind of did it on purpose.
Yes, I do too. What was your reasoning for thinking they did it?
Well, because the objectives are, I think.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But it does make it easier for Cav players too, even though they don't have objectives. I mean, it does make it easier, but I think that's fine, because the objectives are kind of...
objectives are not... This fight is objectively significantly more open than previous ones.
Open-ended,
And
definitely.
it's an easy point for cow players as well. And obviously,
Absolutely.
it's easy 3 points for Thronebreakers who have Magneto. It's literally like...
you can get 3 points from doing it in one fight.
Yeah,
basically.
with Magneto, it's just like 12 hits, fine.
Yeah, I think you did it in 13 your first try.
Yeah,
that was
it was
like
my first couple
going
of
in
minutes.
just randomly, first time, saying, okay, I'm going to try Magneto. Bam, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, done.
And thank you, bam, and 3 points immediately. The fight itself is actually quite decent because I like the principal idea against the fight, where it's more or less all about AI manipulation, and you can quite theoretically use pretty much any champion. There are a couple of champions, obviously, who are incompatible with this fight style, but yeah, there are a ton of champions who can also benefit from those buffs and things like that. And in general, it was, you know, quite decent, good fight. And yeah,
I liked some of the videos you made. They showing like the Red Skull one you made today.
Oh yeah, Red Skull one just uploaded. It just came live like half an hour before this thing started.
Yeah, and it was funny just to see. You know, somebody probably would have never thought Red Skull as a viable option.
I know, Red Skull legitimately was taking like 0 block damage in this fight because of all the buffs.
All the buffs on him. That's just insane, but it's great. It's one of those things that, like, it did show there are more variety of champions you can use, and maybe you don't have the best option, but there's still a chance you can get it done with a little bit of patience and a little bit of just skillful, taking it slow play style. You know, it's not a race; it's a marathon. That's something that people always forget. You know?
Yeah. And you know, again, there are dozens of options for this fight that are perfectly viable. And then obviously, there was a second aspect of having to do this fight with Villain, Mutant, and Robot champions.
Yeah, if you were Thronebreaker, we had 3 challenges, and from what we've heard, it's pretty much going to be 3 solo objective challenges for Thronebreakers every week. Plus, so you can get possible 4 fights. I'm sorry, 4 points for the weekly fight, and you may have to do it anywhere between 2 to... You got to at least do it twice, it looks like, but you may have to do it 3 different times. You never know. But it's I think and what people were worried about it was going to be as restrictive as like the Karina challenges, but in reality, it was actually more like it was a lot less restrictive, you know.
Oopsie, I got tagged. Abort the mission.
Oh no, you got tagged.
Yeah,
abort mission.
I'm actually convinced KTea can do that.
It was better than the Karina challenges because you didn't have to use 4 stars, and they're not going to make it that way from what they've said.
Yeah,
so that's
and
nice.
like legitimately, the first thing is like, yeah, Magneto did like 2 of the 3 objectives immediately, super easy. And even if you don't have Magneto, well, first of all, I think Magneto is kind of like owned by majority of the people because you can even use like a 4-star Magneto, or, you know, whatever.
You could even do that, yeah, easily.
That's like one of the cool things about Magneto. You can kind of like, if he works, he works.
He works extremely well when he works. That's what's nice about him. And again, you don't have to even one-shot this champion. I mean, Magneto can, but even if you don't, it's one of those things where you can use your revives and such. You know, don't feel like you have to one-shot it. But yeah, so Summer Pain came out. It was less roster specific than the week prior. Definitely was more accessible to more players, I think.
Yeah. Easy point. It's kind of also a very good thing that is exactly what is this week with all the game issues, you know?
Yeah, it was kind of nice to see. It was, if you could only imagine Mysterio the week we were having game issues.
Yeah, exactly. Mysterio fight, like, you know, you literally couldn't like miss a beat in that fight.
Yeah, that would have been a huge nightmare had that been the case. So thank goodness that didn't happen. But you know, we had it and we got it done, and I was able to get it done. I was able to one-shot it. I haven't heard a lot of people have trouble with it, which is nice. So, you know, good. Now, the elephant in the room that unless there's anything else you want to bring up before that.
The thing that I wanted to bring up is about the fights themselves, again, I think a lot of people miss
Yeah.
the point of this fight, and this fight is all about making AI do what you want.
Right.
And that is quite literally all there is to it. Like, the simplest trick in the world is what I'm showcasing right now. You can just dash back to your side of the screen, and that will already significantly reduce the amount of block damage you are forced to endure in this fight, because the opponent will end up following you for like a really long time.
Right.
And let's see what is going to be this level 2. I didn't quite finish it, but, 8%. Good. We're good.
And again, Casey's doing it live on stream for those that may just be listening. He's doing another one with a Shang-Chi this time. Just to kind of show, it's, once you understand the I guess you could say trick to the fight, which is making the AI do what you want it to do, manipulating it based on what we've learned and what you've learned as playing or what you've seen in videos or explained in videos to people.
And this is like first time I even thought about trying Shang-Chi for the fight. It really is very, very open, when I think pretty much any champion that does not maybe hardcore rely on like inflicting bleeds or poison, stuff like that, can do very easily.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just one of those things. I hope this is a sign of what the rest will be, but we'll see. Even if it's not, I mean, it's a summer of pain, not a summer of mild inconvenience, as you've said before.
That is a good title, if I might say so. Okay, I actually stole it from something. I obviously didn't come up with it. I saw that being flagged around the chats and
even so, it was good. It was good. Now, the next question, and we got this a lot during the stream, because if anyone doesn't know,
that has caused a lot of issues.
KT goes live every time a Summer of Pain comes up, and typically will solo it with a champion. He'll do his strategery live, solo it with a champion. Once he figures out which one's going to work best, he'll solo it. Then he'll go through and start doing other champions and such. And always we'll have people come in and tell us that someone else soloed it with the same champion he used 5 minutes before. But what we saw more this week than any other week, and what could only be called the most blatant Cavalier player entitlement I've ever seen in this game since Thronebreaker came out almost a year ago. And that is Cav players coming in and almost demanding why they were not able to get those solo objectives.
Let's make it very also perfectly clear. This isn't some sort of generic attack on all Cav players.
No.
Everybody is perfectly free to play the game at whatever level they want, and I think that these levels are such an arbitrary tiny thing, and they do not necessarily mean that any person is like better or automatically worse off if you do not represent. That's none of that kind of like imaginary country club mentality or something like that. It's purely the idea of the entitlement where everybody who is Thronebreaker has had to become Thronebreaker, right?
Right. And we've had a year to do that.
And it's not a new thing. And I personally also kind of feel that every time cow players another thing, I personally think that a part of a statement that whenever people like that come in and demand or complain that automatically they should be able to get everything else is another kind of like side to the coin what they never think about. And that those statements kind of like also diminish and reduce the effort of people who are Thronebreakers. Because not only it is now, every passing day, easier to become Thronebreaker than whenever who has done it, let's say, 6 months ago. 6 months ago, it was significantly more difficult to become Thronebreaker than it is right now. 8 months ago, it was significantly more difficult to become Thronebreaker than it is right now. Because not only the total amount of tier 5 CC in the game has multiplied like crazy. Additionally to that, the availability, constant stream has existed for longer. So you have had to put in significantly less effort to acquire the fragments.
Right. And here's what I want to say too. There has been so many ways to get tier 5 CC in this game as a free-to-play player, not even someone that
yeah, I have a lot of viewers who have played this game for less than 2 years, are free to play and are Thronebreaker.
Yeah, I understand that you may not want to rank up a group. You may not want to rank up an Ant-Man. You may not want to rank up a Korg. But when you're staring down the barrel of having these types of solo objectives, at your disposal, or here's a great example. This month for our for Thronebreakers, okay, for solo objectives for the side quest, I want to kind of mention this because I thought was interesting. Our special objectives for doing the legendary difficulty, there's 6 levels of it. You have to do a total of 27 fights. But there's 6 different levels, like 4 fights, 4 fights, 4 fights, 5 fights, 5 fights, 5 fights. You get 5 2% T5CC crystals and 1 10% T5CC crystal. That's in addition to the Cav event quest that you get the T5CC crystals from,
Sorry.
It's
yeah.
Oh, no,
I get
okay.
the point. I wanted to say you do not need to look any further than this event itself. Summer of Pain. Just take a look at Summer of Pain. If you think you are all that, if you think you're all that skilled, if you think that the only thing holding you back is that arbitrary title, Summer of Pain is like the perfect example right now in the game. If you choose, let's say, not to make a decision of ranking up some mid-tier champion and keeping your tier 5 CC to yourself, at best you will earn 75% of tier 5 CC. If you will rank up any champion, literally any champion, Groot or anything for defense or whatever you can earn up to 2 full tier 5 CCs plus a bunch of other things, right? So this event alone will net you basically that tier 5 CC that you used to become Thronebreaker back, and another 25% more than you could have gotten before.
Yeah.
And that is exactly how this game works. And this is, but getting Thronebreaker title, as far as I'm concerned, is kind of like acquiring a license to drive, or I don't know, to carry a gun or whatever. It doesn't matter what you realistically can do, but there are some sort of rules set in this universe, and you might not disagree. You might not agree with them. I might not agree with them. I might not like what Kabam does, but neither I or you are in position to change it. We can spend as much time as we want to complain about it, or at some point you can just invest your energy into getting where you think you belong.
But what I want to say though is, once you make that decision, if you're not, if what's holding you back from being Thronebreaker is either completing content or just ranking up the champion and you've already got what you need to do it, you need to do it. And the reason why is you get so much better resources, you get a better daily crystal, you get more challenges you can get to get even more T5CC. It's just, by this point in time, there is no excuse you shouldn't have at least one form T5CC if you're doing the content in the game at all. If you're taking this game seriously at all.
If you have put in the work, or if you want to put in the work, and if your roster is even borderline on that, Thronebreaker, let's say beginning Thronebreaker of a level, you can become Thronebreaker within any given month from right now, if you want to put work towards it. Completing the content, grinding the units, or doing whatever else. I can promise you, if you're the type of cow who has, like, I don't know, a dozen rank 5 5-stars, some rank 2 6-stars, you think you're there. Within this month, like within 30 days, you can become Thronebreaker if you put in work.
Absolutely. And as a Cav player, like I said, you have access to the monthly event quest, and that gives you, a, not necessarily a selector, but you get to choose between 3 different classes that'll give you, plus the other 10%. There's just so much T5CC out there.
And here is the last bit that I want to say. I'm not naturally, like, genetically the most sympathetic human being. I'm actually much nicer than I appear to be, but I'm not going to be here to help you feel sorry for yourself whenever you think somebody is mistreating you. I might occasionally, but that by no means is going to be my default state. However, I personally believe that out of every single YouTube channel out there that's dedicated itself to this game, I have done, or I have tried to do the most that I could have to help as many people to progress. Starting from champion guides, starting to, like, going to trying to teach as many people as possible how to look at champions, trying to teach tips and tricks, trying to guide in which content direction you should go, by which content you should go. And obviously I'm not always right, but I have genuinely transformed my channel to a point where my content is meant to help as many people as possible. Obviously there are some sort of videos that are for different reasons, but in general, whenever there's a new piece of content, I have always come up with completion guides, exploration guides, discussions, debates for that new content. Whenever there's a new significant change about champions or anything else, I have tried my best to make sure that every single person who actively follows my channel can get as much content as possible and is in as good of a position to compete and do the best they can. But I will not sit here and pretend that if you have not listened, if you have not put in the work, you deserve something you don't.
Right. And it's like I said, it's not an excuse anymore. The people that come in with that are one of two people. They've either just become Cavalier, or they're not willing to do the work and they just want the easy access fruit for what's available now because it's limited time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just not going to work. So yeah, based on that, we have anything else you wanted to say about that?
No, I think I'm pretty much done here.
Cool. Hercules early access came out this week.
Well, I already did make it, because Hercules has certainly made a lot of noise. Certainly made a lot of noise. I think level up events tomorrow, so I'll probably rank up my 4-star Hercules a bit. Gonna have a bit of fun with it. I might even max him out, because why not?
Sure.
Have some catalysts and stuff in overflow anyways. And
fun.
Yeah, the boy's here, and the boy has a big fat prestige. There is one thing that really bothers in the prestige that nobody has mentioned yet, though. Because you can see that we can read right now in front of us what is the advertised prestige. 13,740 as rank 3. Right?
Okay.
And 10,690 as maxed out 5-star. If we tap on prestige list now, we can take a look at Hercules is rank 5 5-star. So 10,690, right? What does it say right now? Well, you can't see. Let me move it a bit.
I can't see it, yeah.
What does it say now?
10, I'm waiting.
10,687 there.
Get over there.
10,687.
Oh, it's cut off still for me. I can't see. Oh, there we go. 10,687.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. So it's
and
lower than what it's
that
supposed
matters.
to be.
Literally that room of error that Kabam finds acceptable, and it's always higher, as in stated prestige, what it really ends up being. And most importantly,
that doesn't make any sense.
Most importantly, here in 6-star rank 3 level, we can see that it's 13,743. That's how it is in game. That's his real prestige, which is 3 points higher. It's just weird. They cannot get their stuff right.
That is really weird.
And they legitimately change his rankings, because I do believe that his prestige at the rank 4 level was... Anyways, I'm not going to get too much into it, but I just want to point that out, that these things are wrong.
How can they do that? That's what I don't understand.
I genuinely don't know, but these things in official announcements have been wrong for pretty much every single champion. They're always off by up to 3 prestige points.
But it's almost like the announcement is made before the champion's final. You know what I mean?
Kind of, yeah.
Or something. I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing here. I'm just don't know if that's true.
I think it's just kind of within their margin of error or something. I don't know.
But that doesn't... You can't do margin of error. Yeah.
Because obviously Prestige is a very big part of Hercules. Prestige is 98% of the reason why I want this character as a 6-star right now.
Yeah. I think that's what most people want him. Well, at least as a 6-star.
Most top tier players, yeah. Is the Prestige level. Right, overall, obviously, the Herc seems to be...
He's okay.
Very popular. Ton of people will be chasing for him for several different reasons.
I have a thought he may actually break the record for highest point now in the...
Yeah, I'm about 97 point 95% sure that he will go for the highest anyone has ever gone in an arena. I don't think it's going to be anything as ridiculous as 180 million, stuff like that. And here I'm going to give another generic advice to everybody. Do not ever, and I mean absolutely ever, take an arena advice from a single person, no matter how many subscribers they have, about featured 6-star grind if they have never grinded for a featured 6-star. I'll just put it like that out there immediately. It doesn't matter who the person is, it doesn't matter if they have a YouTube channel or not, or whatever else. Because there are very specific things about top grind. Like in this case, when somebody's saying something ridiculous like 200 million, that will not happen for a really long time, if ever. 200 million point arena score is pretty much an oxymoron, and let me explain that. Very briefly. Basically, let's assume that I can put about as much points as anybody can without using units. I'm in like tops, well, I'm in like 72nd place, I think, in hero base rating. I have like 150 something 6-stars at this point, and yeah, so my account's, let's say, big. Let's assume that fits the top bracket of how many points in arena anyone can put up. And with a reasonably hardcore grind, I can put up about 120 million, maybe 130 million, if I really sacrifice my sleep in between rounds and things like that. Yeah. Right. Basically, but even being a YouTuber and not having a full-time job, I'm talking about, realistically, that I could put up about 110 million. Yeah, everything past 110, 115 would already require me either staying up very late or starting to use 4-stars and just grinding pretty much and stuff like that. Everything past that point, let's say everything past 120 million points, is units. And it roughly, as a rule of thumb, thereabouts, it's about 3,000 units or $100 for about 10 million. So when somebody says that Hercules is going to go for 200 million, what they are truly saying is that there's going to be somebody who spends about 60 hours grinding out of 72 hours with a minimum unit cost of $800. If you are somebody who has $800 worth of units to put in this game, you're not going to be grinding on top of that. You're going to be opening caps, right? That's just simple as that. So 200 million arena score will not exist anytime soon, because not a single person who can afford $800 for a single 6-star champion is going to choose to also sacrifice 3 days of their life and $800.
No, they'd rather just go for crystals.
They will just 100%. Go for crystals. That's it. And there might be obviously always the odd exception of some really hardcore player grinder who might do that, but there will never be 100 people like that.
Yeah.
So no, there's not going to be 200 million cutoff ever.
I was going to say, I don't think we'll see 200 million until we have multiple people with rank 4.
I think reasonably we're not going to see that till we have like 7 stars and some sort of significant arena point jump or something like that. I don't think we're going to see 200 million for pretty much ever in arena for any champion.
I would be very surprised if we did,
let's say this year for sure. Next year maybe at some point something changes. Anyhow.
Maybe, yeah.
Anyhow, point is, a lot of people do not know at all what they are saying when they are shoving around.
Don't trust what I say. I would tell people, don't trust what I fucking say. Yeah. Sorry. That's the truth.
That's the point. But I do believe that he's going to go, say, 145 to 155, maybe, with a stretch, possibly 160.
Yeah. I think 160 would really be pushing
I think he's going to be close at 150. I think there's going to be there about 150. 148, 152, something like that, most likely. That's my guess.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good guess.
That being said, obviously, a lot of people do like him. He has a ton of big numbers. He has a ton of red numbers. He has funny counts and immortality, and a lot of people are in love with him.
Oh, that immortality. You want to know something I love about it?
Mm?
You want to know something I love about that immortality?
Do tell me.
Black Widow Clairvoyant.
Oh, okay, nullify it, yeah.
Not just nullify it, but if you put the special 2 where he can't gain buffs, bam,
Yeah.
dead.
Also with Black Widow Clairvoyant, if you're hitting Black Widow Clairvoyant, his immortality is
Oh,
going to
yeah.
get nullified.
Yeah, anything, and it basically, as long as she has a charge, like, yeah, he's bye-bye.
But yeah,
No matter what
anyhow, so I do ultimately believe that Hercules is going to have, at best, similar fate to Cosmic Ghost Rider. Tons of hype, very dedicated group of players that will try to use him for everything and anything, but ultimately not all that much significant impact on the game. I do think that he could, however, be maybe somewhat of a rival to Corvus to some Alliance Quest path, but in general, I don't expect him to replace or properly actually compete with Corvus in popularity as well for AQ. In general, yeah, I kind of see him as, you know, Cosmic Ghost Rider type champion that you want to use, champion that's very fun, champion that puts up big numbers, but, you know, when Summer of Pain comes, you kind of put it aside and you flip out a Magneto or Archangel or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
but, you know, it is what it is. He's, obviously, we have the early access of him. He officially releases on
Thursday.
On Thursday, and that's when the arenas will come out, so we'll see. We'll see then.
Yeah.
And final thing we have to talk about. Last week we had a guest. Do you think we'll see the summer appreciation calendar? Well, we have the answer now.
Well, yes, the answer is, wait, 1 second, I have the answer. I have that, 1 second.
Okay.
I actually have a perfect soundbite for this one.
Great, great.
Where's my favorites? Okay, here we go.
The answer is yes and no.
Okay, so.
Nice.
Yeah, so anyways.
We have, so we don't have summer appreciation the way we know it from the past few years.
But effectively, here's the most disappointing thing. We got a carbon copy of items from summer appreciation, which is, I think, absolutely shit.
Correct, because a year later, these items are less valuable than they were last year.
Yes. And there's also, like, obvious lack of grace days, because if you, let's say, miss out, if England wins football tonight, brings the cup home, thousands of young English men and ladies party, get carried away, and you are super hangover. You do not log in the game tomorrow, or you barely touch the game, let's say less than 10 fights,
right.
Whatever. You miss 1 day, you automatically miss 500 units.
Yeah, which is crazy if you think about it. And not only that, it's not even that you miss a day. I mean, you could log in. You have to do 10 fights. Now, granted, 10 fights is not much. I understand. You can auto fight, whatever. But let's say you're just busy. What if you're getting married? What if you're attending a funeral? You know, there could be all kinds of things happening in real life.
90 days is a very, very long time.
90 days is a long time.
Like, legitimately, a lot of misdemeanor prison sentences are shorter than that.
And yeah, and the fact that life happens. I mean, many things can happen. Natural disasters can happen. And I'm sorry, I understand this is just a game, the end of time, and yes, real life is more important. But why am I penalized for something that I have no control over just because you decided to do that?
Not even that. Like even a 30-day calendar has grace periods.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And the other thing, and like, you know, again, like, and some people have pointed out, yes, it's not just log in, you've got to work for it, but 10 fights a day is
and it's also, you have to remember to claim the sunglasses, as it's very easy to forget because you don't even get a notification for it.
Yeah, that was the weird thing I thought too, because it didn't pop up for me. I'm like, well, I thought I already did 10 fights because I did the side event, and I looked, and yeah, it was there to claim.
I'm like legit 50-50 if I forgot to claim the sunglasses one day.
Yeah. And the thing is about that is, well, I mean, I guess the question is, how many points do you have right now?
12.
Did you do today's yet?
Yeah.
Okay, if you've done today's, then you're good. If you don't have a sunglass you could claim later today, then yeah, you're fine. 12 is what you should be at.
Oh yeah.
But it's just, it's just annoying because also they won't even let you stack days, like like do 10 fights and then it's so stupid. The reason why we have 12 points is for everybody wondering.
Because I bought the card plus, and that gives you
the
7 days extra. That is literally what you pay mainly those extra $5 with, in case you happen to claim the sunglasses one day. And I thought, I'm a relatively tardy person. I probably won't need it, but there is quite also a decent chance that I'm a bit of a tardy guy and I might forget it. And
well, what I like about it,
you basically
is
buy
you
your
can
grace period days.
But the thing I like about it is you can wait to buy that literally the last day.
Yeah,
so
sure.
if you mess up, you can just buy it the last day.
That is also
like,
true. Yeah.
So that's kind of nice, but they're making you pay for accident forgiveness. I'm sorry, that's a insurance commercial here.
Yeah.
For Allstate, but
it's
it's
like in general. Let's put it something straight. Like, I was relatively positive towards them, and because all in all, I don't know, I kind of like it. I like the story behind it, like as in like summer camp and like some sort of random shit happening, and I do like the feeling of earning my rewards much more than I do just randomly logging in and receiving them. And all in all, I genuinely think as an idea, this is good. I much prefer this stuff than just calendar. Now, the problem is with everything else that follows. The things that these days don't stack, the things that you can't just not claim those sunglasses for a week and then just claim them all in one bulk. So long as you log in, you technically have that objective opened. The fact that they didn't even improve those rewards a smidge from last year. And if you did want to get anything extras, then you have to pay for it. And literally everything around the event is pretty much a disaster at this point. The idea is decent, but everything else shit.
It's always the problem with Kabam, KT. The ideas are there. It's the execution that always fails.
Pretty much. And
they fail with execution 99.9% of the time.
It's just why can't you just, I don't know, throw us? It's not even throw us a bone. It's just account for fucking inflation.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, you can count for inflation when it comes to, raising prices of stuff and whatnot, but the economy of the game has definitely had
economy of the game has shifted significantly.
Well, I mean, go to the offers for today. The offers for today, you can get tier 1 alpha and 100,000 gold and everything for like $2 or
2 tier 2 alphas. Oh, that one, yeah. Tier 1 alpha, 100,000 gold, and the 5 tier 5.
And you can get 10 of them.
Yeah.
So you could get 1,000,000 gold for 20 pounds.
10 tier 1 alpha. Even the other one, $30. 2 tier 2 alphas, 2 tier 4 basics, and a tier 4 class catalyst selector. Tier 2 alpha used to cost $50 or $100 initially and stuff like that. Like a year ago, even a year ago, this offer would be like $50 minimum.
Yeah, I was gonna say a year ago you would have only got the 2 tier 2 alpha and that was it. Yeah. Maybe some gold.
And that's kind of like the thing. The game moves on. Our necessities change, but any event that does not improve year on year. Imagine if they did the gifting event and just released last year's crystals and didn't change them in any manner.
Yeah.
But they would never do that because then people wouldn't buy them, and as long as money is involved, they don't point.
Which is why it's so odd. I mean, I guess they could say the money, you are getting more than what you got last year. You're getting double the rewards, I guess, if you buy the pass. Right?
You get, pretty much.
But double the rewards
but that's not
thing.
It's not a better event. It's just basically a very long login card or another offer to buy.
And that's the problem.
And by the way, just FYI, it is worth $15 or $20. I'm just saying.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Units alone make it.
But you've got to make sure you. The thing is, not only do you have to buy it, but you have to make sure you log in, and that's where Kabam double dips with their customer and / player base.
Yeah.
They get you to pay for the opportunity to log in and play their game every day for over 3 months.
I think I'm gonna make another video shredding this event because Initially, I was kind of like,
Actually-
let's wait and see what you can get. You know, the event itself instead of calendar might not be that bad. And then when they released it, I'm saying like, okay, the rewards are the same. But the longer this goes, the more I think about it, the more and more irritated I am. 90% of irritation comes from the fact that there is zero, movement in upwards direction from the actual items that you get. But another significant source of frustration is that last year you had 7 grace day period days, right? 7 days you could like not log in and you still would have gotten those 5,000 something 6-star shards. You know, each day you miss is like missing 200 6-star shards, but you know, it's not that big of a deal. This year, you miss 1 day, you say goodbye to 500 units. I don't think that is on. I don't think that is acceptable.
And that's the equivalent of like $20, isn't it? Like 500 units, isn't it?
Yeah,
like
that's like $20.
Yeah. You know, I think this deserves an animation video, in my opinion. But,
I don't know, maybe.
You know, KT has a momentary lapse and forgets to log in. He gets drunk after England wins and passes out for 2 days and notices he missed a day and lost 500 units. That could be something that happens. I don't know. Maybe. You know,
maybe
we'll see. But yeah, I'll definitely say that it's not
That's
nasty. Rewards-wise, it's not horrible.
I mean,
it's just not
it
better
really
than
is not
last
great
year.
though, is it? I mean, rewards-wise,
No.
it's exactly the same as it was last year, which means it's exactly about 30% more shit than it was last year.
And you've got to do more work to get them, and you can't miss any days.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot. They put a lot more on you this time, and it doesn't really seem like an appreciation. It seems more like
it really does not seem
torture.
nowhere near as much as it should feel as an appreciation.
Yeah, it feels more like a torture, summoner torture.
Anyhow, I think that's just about all there is to it right now. I think we have covered the main topics, right?
Yeah, we had almost an hour and a half KT time. We want to thank everybody for being here.
Yeah.
We understand there's a game going. Obviously, we want to get you out there to go watch the end of the game.
Yeah, I actually kind of want to watch the end of the game as well.
So, you see, we let you go in time to watch the end. So once again, thank you guys for being here. Please hit the like button. If you weren't able to catch the beginning, the middle, or the end, rewatch it. It's live, and obviously it's on playback anytime. We're here every Sunday. Thank you for your time.
I should be playing Incursions with Ankit tomorrow morning, by the way, in case you guys are interested.
And I should be back tomorrow on my regular time, unless they only have to do one last thing with electricity. That's it. So we'll see. I should be back to normal this week.
Yeah.
Yes, please. I don't need any more bad stuff happening.
Huge thank you to every single one of you for listening and being part of us, part of this entire thing. Do not forget to hit all the good buttons. Stay away from the bad buttons. And, I don't know, come back tomorrow. Send me a message, my girlfriend's away for the weekend. I'm kind of lonely, so drop a comment. Say something nice to me.
He's thirsty. He wants that. He wants those slide into DMs from everybody.
No, please don't. Otherwise, my girlfriend is gonna find out, and I'm gonna be dead. It's like you're gonna see me with like a black eye next to you or something. Anyways.
Oh, speaking of one last thing, KT. Yesterday, even though I wasn't at the stream, I watched the playback, and yeah, my wife feels the same. Like says the same crap. If she's away and I don't eat, she's like, "You'd die without me." So yeah, I felt you too, and you didn't eat much yesterday. I know what you were talking about. So there you go.
And I started watching Rick and Morty. I already finished first season. Started watching second season.
Oh man, thank goodness! Yeah, finally, wubba dub dub.
Yeah, I'm in so much pain.
Yeah, you need to watch. I haven't watched this season. This season just started. There's a new episode tonight.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch it.
Well, I mean,
I'm in like. I actually can tell you where I'm at because I was watching it on my iPad on Netflix. 1 second.
Okay. I think season 3 is
season
really
2, episode
good.
4 is what I started just now.
Okay. What's the episode called? Do you remember?
Well, I haven't seen this episode yet, but it's gonna be called Total Recall.
Yeah. Okay, that was a great one. Oh man. Okay, yeah. Watch that one. Season 3 is probably one of my favorite seasons.
Lick
Season 4 was good, and now they're airing season 5.
Yeah,
so,
say that all the time.
And
Total Recall is totally awesome.
yeah,
Pickle
anyways,
Rick
that
is
is
in
it. I
season
figured
3,
I'd
I
just
believe.
let you know. Anyhow,
Yeah.
see you, everybody.
Bye.
Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about